Hi, welcome back to Live and Breathe Horses at Centre Christi La Luz. Today we're starting a new series of Words and Wisdom with Buck Brannaman. So this is a special one for me because he's the only one of the Words and Wisdom series that I've actually met. So that was nearly 5 years ago, can't believe that, in Italy. And I was just searching online because, of course, my dream it would be to go over there to his ranch to spend time there or do a clinic in America. And I was looking into that and finding it extremely hard to get booked in. Of course, when the film came out, the documentary, and I think also from the horse whisperer from years ago, you know, he's got so popular, it's very hard to get booked in. And then I saw there was a clinic here in Europe, in Italy. And I managed to get booked in on that one, so that was quite amazing. I decided not to take any of my horses because it was a very long journey and I could rent a horse there, so I decided just to do that. So the book we're going to be looking at is Groundwork, and I took this with me when I went on the clinic, so I actually had it signed by him, so that's a very special thing for me. And also it was a very special moment because at the end of the clinic, when we finished the last riding session, we all had a chance to meet him and take a picture and say something. So that was I had the book with me because I knew that was going to happen, and I asked him to sign the book. And it was, you know, we had a chance to ask a question and I just couldn't think of anything to ask. So in the end I just said, could I just have a hug? So he actually thought that was a lovely idea as well. And he's a big tall guy, even taller than me. So it was a very special moment. And then at the end of the clinic, after that, when everybody had put their horses away and were starting to leave, I was waiting for a lift and I went into the bar to get a hot chocolate or something because it was bitterly cold. And there he was in there with just one other person and nobody else was there. So I had a chance to say goodbye again properly and get another hug before he left. And I actually met him when I arrived at the hotel on the first morning. You know, there was 2 hotels recommended by the clinic to stay in, so I thought I'll stay in one of them, then it'll be easier to get a lift back and forward. So the first morning of the clinic, I went for breakfast and I was just standing trying to think what to choose because it was all like really sweet cakes and things that didn't really suit me for breakfast. And I was just thinking, and I heard this voice behind me saying something very similar about the cakes, and I looked around and it was Buck, and I was just like so starstruck, and I was like, okay, act normal. And I'd already got my coffee and put it on a table, and then I'd gone back up to get the cakes, so I was aware he was, so I just kind of said, oh, hello, and oh, it's nice to meet you. And I thought, I'm not going to start gushing on and asking him loads of questions about horses, because poor guy, you know, he's probably had a long journey. And, you know, it's breakfast, it's not a moment to. So anyway, I got my cakes, turned around, went back, and as I was going back to my table, I realised he was sitting at my table and it was just ended up me and him having breakfast. And it was totally surreal. Like I said, I didn't want to start, well, I did want to, but I'm not going to start picking his brain about horse things. So we just had a very normal conversation about jet lag and about the food and the hotel and how he was missing home and about travelling in general and his going around clinics. So it was an amazing start to the clinic. And he is just such incredible, I mean, I don't even have a word, such an amazing human being. You know, as he always says something along the lines of horses and life is all the same to me. And he completely embodies and lives that, you know, to be in his presence. You can see why horses are just so happy with him, and that's what attracted me to him in the first place. Actually, the first time I saw a video with him, you know, I always look for the expression of the horses, and it just blew me away how his horses were, you know, alert and aware but completely relaxed and obviously so happy to be with him, whether that was on the ground or being ridden. They were so light and together and responsive and joyful in their work. It just fascinated me. And, you know, coming from a very traditional British horse society, show jumping, dressage, eventing, and then more European classical school and high school dressage exhibition area, in a way you could think it's a completely other world. But this is a point that I would wish that more people realise, because I think people do tend to discount that school of horsemanship from Ray Hunt and Tom Dorrance, who we've already spoken about, and Buck, who's still here today going out teaching clinics, how relevant it is, whatever kind of horsemanship you're in. You know, that people think, oh, but that's cowboy stuff. It's not. It's all about the horse, you know. As we've said before, but I'll say it again, the horse doesn't care who you are, what you call it, what you're wearing, what tack you use. They only care about the feel that you're presenting. And actually on that clinic there was people from all over Europe. You know, there was German dressage riders, there was some show jumpers from France, there was an Austrian guy who had a horse he used for pulling logs through the forest. There was some, let's say, natural horsemanship people, as they call it, but really a huge variety of people, you know, some very Western and others not at all. So it was an amazing experience. The arena was very full. I think if I remember right, there was about 42 horses and riders. So it was quite chaotic at times. And of course there wasn't that much personal attention, although he was always there and it was always possible to go up and ask him a question, which I did, because of course I had this horse, I didn't know anything about this horse. And when we did the backing up thing, I had an issue with that, so I thought, right, go on, just go and ask. So I just rode into the centre, because of course you could see people circling around and everybody's waiting for their chance to get in and ask him a question. But I thought, I'm going to ask. So I managed to get in there and have a little discussion with him about that and find a good solution to the problem. So yeah, all in all, a great experience. I'm still hoping to go and see him in the States and see him in one of the clinics there. You know, of course, since he's become so famous, he is asked all over the world to do things, but he, true to the humble person he is, will not go abandoning the clinics and tour he's done in the States for decades. I think even 30 years or more that he's been going around these same people, and suddenly just because he got so famous and is being offered huge sums of money to go all over the world, he doesn't do that. And I think he also respects his home family time in the winter. So yes, as you can tell, I'm a massive fan. So thank you for being with us today, and we're going to go on with the series all about Buck.